I ask for the truth on behalf of Amor. Concerning, just going through some things at the moment, things within her and family problems, or problems at home anyway, and mental problems and things. What's this about? We ask in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the power of darkness. We cut the deck like so for you, like so for you there, Marley, and just move the deck to the side here. I'm going to deal out 3 cards for you, Marley, to see what this is all about. The first card will establish what's been going on over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so, over the past moon phase, but the past moon, as you should say, the past 28 days or so. And then the next card represents the present, and then of course finally here the immediate future in the next 3 or 4 weeks or so is represented by this card here. Let's just examine these cards to seek the truth. Which is the recent past first of all, beginning, middle and end, isn't it? Let's just flip this first card here, nice and slowly, not to disturb its energy, just out of respect for spirit, and then we'll just see what it is. And there, as you can see, we've got the 19, the sun. The sun. The sun usually represents Genesis. It usually represents the beginning of something, or companionship. It's usually a positive energy. Of course, it's the positive that may have been behind you. She represents the sun, walks towards us or away from the situation. And I don't know if what this is about, but it's as if she's carrying somebody there. Like as if somebody's being carried through a situation because they haven't got the energy to walk themselves, move themselves. This, I get this feeling here as though you've recently been carried through a situation. You've had to rely on support from others, naturally, which is understandable, even by your post in the free psychic readings group on Facebook, as you would say, would indicate that. I'm sort of like focusing here on the crescent, although it's the sun. It's more like a crescent moon or a crescent sun, as if sort of like the sort of picture you get when you look at these magnified pictures of the sun where things are coming off, but it's just a straightforward crescent there, as if it wants to give out light but can't, but nevertheless the only light within the darkness is the fact that you've been carried. And I do sense as though you are the one being carried. You're not the one who's carrying somebody else. It is. Notice there the wings of the angel that's spread out there. It's carrying you. It's like as if darkness is carrying the light, and in the sense of the potential light that's within you is being sort of extinguished, and it's the power of darkness that's carrying you, that's supporting you, and maybe draining you of the light. I don't know. It's a very strange sort of thing, isn't it? As if the demon itself is carrying you, the demon within, the thing that troubles you the most, or whatever. The problem there is the thing that carries you and keeps you, has kept you afloat over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so. I just want to see what the next card is, the next energy for the present is. Let's just see where you are now. This, I suppose, really, in a way, is the most important one of all, isn't it, to some degree, because he points toward what's happening now, and we can sort of work on that, can't we? Let's just see what energy is there. What's this? This is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands. The airy part of fire. He really is sort of indicating. Notice there that there's a figure standing there, a winged angel standing on a serpent, as if the serpent symbolises change. Yes, you are having to shapeshift right now, in the sense adapt to the situation that you're in. After being carried up to this point, you are now having to change and adapt to it, because there's nobody carrying you anymore. They've run out of energy. The sun has risen, and the darkness that carried you has had to go back into the night to rest until, or has got to go into rest until the night time returns again. The serpent symbolises change. I mean, this is about shape-shifting and change anyway, isn't it? The Knight of Wands. In some decks, like the Crow's Magic, you see it as a pterodactyl, as if it's sort of changing from one thing and evolving as you move through time. In this sense, it's the serpent that sheds its skin and regenerates, but of course there's an angel that stands upon that serpent. Of course, in some ways, the serpent that represents change in a regenerational sort of way can sometimes have a very nasty bite, like change, and I get a funny feeling that this is what's happening right now to you. It's biting and it's bitten you very strong right now, and you're trying to adapt to it. You're trying to evolve, trying to work through it, in the sense of, if you break your leg, you're on crutches or something, you've got to try and move around until the leg heals up, or whatever it is that's broken, or whatever. And I'm getting this sort of feeling from that, as though you're sort of, instead of being carried, you're now having to support yourself, and having to adapt to the situation and cope with the darkness that's there. You were carried through the darkness, of course, just recently, but now they said we can't carry you anymore. That's all we can do. We can't do any more for you. We can't. It's as if somebody said to you, I don't know, I just sense as though somebody said to you, we can't help you anymore. The only person who can help you is you. And you've got to change your ways. You've got to. And at the same time, you see, instead of seeing the serpent as a means of regeneration, as a means of healing even, you take the nasty bite as it's bitten you, the change that's bitten you, and you even treat it. In some cultures, the snake or serpent is seen to represent betrayal. You feel as though you've been betrayed, stabbed in the back by. But there's only so much people can do for you, and now they're turning on you. You feel as though they're turning on you and deserting you. And you feel as though they've betrayed you and let you down. The very people who carried you, the very people who supported you, or the very person that supported you, maybe, I don't know, in this particular scenario, I don't know. I sense there's more than one of them. I sense there's probably a series of them along the journey that you've been going through over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so, at least, or even before you were carried. I sense that things have been worse. It's not one of these situations where it'll get worse before it gets better, but it'll get worse before it gets better, in the sense of you'll have to suffer having to try and cope and adapt to the situation and get on your own 2 feet. If that's a form of suffering, I don't know, but it'll be a blessing in disguise for you, won't it? Notice there you can see the sky there, the sky blue, maybe the healing energy that's there, of course. So when you were being carried, that was like the beginning of something, preparing you for a new birth, in a similar way to the snake shedding its skin. But of course, will you want to live after that new birth and live again differently? What happens between now and this time next month, I feel, is very important. It's I suppose a game changer, or it's the thing that will make or break you, actually. So I'm just going to flip this card for you, and I'm going to see what the energy is here. That it's revealing something there, isn't it? Between now and this time next month, the energy of the King of Wands. The energy of the King of Wands there is vibrating between now and this time next month. The King of Wands is dedicated, the King of Wands is devoted, if not to whatever cause it is. In the sense of the fiery part of fire, you could say. Crowley calls it the Knight of Wands, but it's the fiery part of fire, isn't it? Maybe as one gets control of the situation, and gets on one's own 2 feet, I don't know. The opportunity to do that is there, but you must be dedicated to it. You must dedicate yourself to it. The magic is there, being provided there by the power of darkness, provides you with the magic to dedicate yourself to it, to devote yourself to it, even very religiously to some degree, I suppose, in some respects. And by doing that, this is going to be an uphill struggle, but you've got to do this. because nobody's there to carry you anymore. The beginning has happened, that's behind you now, and the change, the transition is here now, in the sense of you're evolving, you're on the crutches, as you would say, on the Zimmer frame or whatever. Strange enough, when I broke my leg I couldn't use crutches, I had to use a Zimmer frame, strangely enough. Just on a walking stick now. But either way, the energy of wands there. Wands, the wand on the altar symbol is the physical on the altar is the wand on the altar is the physical manifestation of the will. It's taking your will and turning it into something physical, so you can see it physically on the altar as a tool. And this seems to indicate the willpower as well, to some degree. But one has to, the eagle comes to mind as well, in the sense of trusting your higher self, following the spirit, following your higher self and your own instincts as well, and being able to flap your wings in that sense, and to rise above and see things from a greater height, to see the bigger picture. Notice there the king, although he's a skeleton there sitting on the throne, he's up there with authority. No more flesh, no more, nothing more. And although you'll end up in a state of where there's nothing more to feed from, you'll nevertheless have the opportunity to eat and fill up again. And the framework is there. What you do with that framework, I sense, maybe an eating disorder, maybe, I don't know, but a sense you've got to really, only you can do this, and now is the time to do it. If you can get and train yourself after break, like say a broken leg, you can train yourself to walk on crutches, then the higher chance of walking better unaided will come quicker. Between now and this time next month, that opportunity will be there. The energy, fire is energy, wands is energy, and the energy will be there. The king, the magic of the dark king there will give you that energy to fuel yourself and gain control again of the situation. But you must dedicate yourself to it, and sadly only you can do that. None of us here can do that for you. Only you can do it. And really, I feel as though that's all that can be said, Marley, I'm afraid. That's all that can be said for now. So until then, till next time, go well, stay well. For now, these cards have spoken.